Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Here we are again with Rebecca for another session and with a different topic at the fourth weekend of the Global Empowerment Summit. And we are here for a beautiful conversation. Hi, Rebecca. How are you today?
Hello, my dear. I'm just getting up and starting the day today. I am feeling ready to tackle a Saturday after, or I guess morning here in Florida. So
That's so nice. We were just talking that we are on the two other sides of the world. So for me, lamp on, it's already like nightcap time. I'm having two more
total
sessions and I'm
opposite, total
total
opposite time
opposite.
zone.
Yeah, you just had your coffee and you're waking up. And
hmm
yeah, it's just great that we can connect like this through the technology. And it's just a great opportunity to know about more things that you do. And you are
For
also
sure.
wearing many hats. So today we will we will talk about a different one because earlier we were talking about rare earth metals, but today we will be talking about opportunities for women in the Web3, which is also a very exciting topic, and I'm so looking forward to it. But again, because you are doing so many things, I would let you introduce yourself from this perspective of the Web3 and how do you support women.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for having me back again on the show. So I'm Rebecca Jenkins. I'm originally from Florida and I am based in southern Germany. I kind of bounce all over Europe with my blockchain company. And when I first started out in cryptocurrency, I first heard about Bitcoin in 2017 from my dad. And so my dad really was the one who reached his hand out and was like, here, like, here's this thing called Bitcoin, like you should learn about it. And I was like, oh, dad, like Bitcoin's for nerds, like, and for people who don't ever leave the house. And I just had this really bad perspective, or like, I guess, wrong way of looking at the technology and like the opportunity. But like back then it was it was still very new in 2017. And then I met my now life partner back in 2019 in Las Vegas, and he really brought me in. So I was in marketing. I've been in marketing the last 8 years, and so I was going to this gold conference to meet to meet people, to network for my marketing company. I was doing digital marketing and social media management, and so I had no interest in doing anything with cryptocurrency. I just knew my dad was doing it. But then when I met my partner, I really got into crypto in a whole new way. And then, but I realized I was with all these men, I was with all of these guys all the time working in blockchain. I was full time in blockchain as a marketing person. And I just realized, like, where are all the women? Like, why don't I have any like sisters in blockchain, to hang out with and to like, just have that sisterhood. Like, that's what I just longed for. But honestly, like my experience with guys in the industry has been nothing but positive. Really, I've had a really great experience. They've really taken me under their wing and shown me the way. But I felt like there was like a lack in my life and in the industry for women getting in and learning about it, because of like that initial perspective that I had with my dad, like, oh, like that's not for me, because I had this picture of what a person in blockchain should look like, or what a person who's interested in Bitcoin should look like. So I guess in 2019, when I got together with my life partner, I wanted to start rewriting that narrative for women. And so that's now where we are today with Crypto Women Initiative.
I love it, and we will talk about it more. I think this is something that is coming up, and I love that new communities are formulating and new people are bringing more inclusion into the space, and this
Yeah,
new
totally.
Web3 and everything around it. It just gives new opportunity to see it, a new opportunity to show it, what is exactly can be done, what exactly can be done in these new communities, new platforms, new surfaces. So happy to have you here, and I'm happy to start the conversation about this. So Crypto Women, right? That's the initiative. Where is the idea from? Was it your idea, Crypto Women? You are doing marketing, so I guess it's part of your marketing background.
Yeah, so like I originally had my marketing company, my digital marketing company, which I still have and I love to this day. We're based out of Florida. And then I have my blockchain company that I started with 5 other founders, all men. I'm the only woman. And then I started this Crypto Woman initiative. Like, I came up with this name, Crypto Woman, and I was like, I want women to feel like they can identify with cryptocurrency and blockchain. So that's where the name came from, was that, like, you can be a crypto woman if you want to be.
It sounds like Wonder Woman.
Right. I guess it's like making women feel comfortable around the terminology of, like, those technical terms. And so the name, I did come up with the name, and I've just ran with it so far. And so we're building community around mainly around cryptocurrency, because what I've noticed is there's a lot of women who are into the NFT space and metaverse space, but not so much in cryptocurrency. And so this initiative is more so, I guess, more focused on foundational cryptocurrency understanding and involvement. And then the NFTs, metaverse, other like things, other categories within blockchain technology is something that comes, I guess, after that, after you learn from my group.
So why do you think that is, like, it sounds like for me, like women in tech and all this, that for some reason women in STEM and all these kind of different categorizations are happening because originally these jobs were not really for women. So how is the situation for you? I know you, for a while you are in Europe and you are also back to Florida time to time. So how do you see, did it change since you started? Is there a different concept or a different understanding about women in IT?
Yeah, and that is totally something that is like cultural. It's a cultural thing. It's with your upbringing. So, like, little girls are supposed to do like the creative things, like with communication and with marketing, and then the boys are supposed to do like the science and the math and like the the other categories. And so I think it's a cultural thing that parents are maybe responsible for, because of like a cultural
It's like pink pajama and blue pajamas.
yeah, pink pajamas and blue pajamas. So boys wear blue and girls wear pink. But, like, I guess now I think we're questioning a lot of those gender roles. Like, what are we pushing our little girls to do, and what are we telling them and showing them and influencing them to think about the world? Are we giving them the opportunity to try more technical fields or learn about science and math and these other categories that are normally, I guess, more for boys? More boys are involved in that. Or are we saying, oh, little girls do this and little boys do this? Like, I think that comes down to a cultural thing. And then also what I've noticed now, like in my generation as a millennial and the next generation, Gen Z, have really started to ask questions and questioning the status quo of, okay, well, maybe little girls don't have to wear pink and little boys don't have to wear blue. Like, maybe we can have we can be like a fluid, we can have this bigger identity instead of these boxes that society has put us in. And so I think the big question is, like, a lot of people push back on the fact that I have this like Crypto Woman initiative, like, oh, crypto's not for, like, not gender based or whatever, like we shouldn't have that conversation. And for me, I'm like, well, I guess you have a right to say that, like, you're entitled to your opinion, but I don't see it in the same light, because if we don't have that conversation, then I'm not going to have my sisterhood. Like, I'm not going to have women that are getting into the industry with me, because no one's encouraging them to do that. So you saying that we shouldn't have that conversation is really selfish, because I get a lot of this from men in the space, like, Although I've had wonderful experiences with men in the space who have been so supportive and so welcoming to me, I do feel like there needs to be a bigger conversation to really focus on encouraging women to get into the space, because they would not on their own. Like, they would not think that it's for them because of those societal, cultural, like, ingrained perspectives.
I think it's feels like in the old days, the wrestling, I remember that first it was only for men, and men went through wrestling, and there was all these big shows, and then all of a sudden all the wrestlers became women with all the big muscles, and they
Right.
started to throw over other women. And I was like, all right, so this is something similar. Like, it's not about the gender-based thing. It's not about segregating and separating people. It's about more
Absolutely not. Yeah.
introducing technologies and introducing new opportunities for people who maybe are interested in tech, or maybe are interested in new technologies without anything. And when you come with your story, it's just that you just realized as an experience that there were no other women. So kind of like
Nobody.
you are just uh, how they call it, when you're going around and you are kind of scouting other women who may be interested in it, and then you can have your buddies. And I think that's something very interesting. It's a different than feminism, because I think it's a different kind of community feeling. It's a different kind of, okay, I want some other type of people in my community, and
Yeah.
now it's the time to create your own. So I'm really, really saluting you for your bravery and for doing this, and for standing up for others. So what's your vision for the next few years for cyber women? What is the thing, that the goal that you have, and how would you like to achieve it?
Yeah, so that's a really loaded question. I mean, I definitely do have a vision for, like, how I would like to see the world of blockchain and crypto in the next 5 years when it comes to um, the gender gap, or just getting more women onboarded into the space. I am launching. I will shameless plug on the on the live today. I am launching the first crypto woman meetup. We're having a Women in Web3 retreat January 26th through the 30th in Mallorca, Spain. And it's going to be in this beautiful castle style villa, like wonderful, right next to the beach in Mallorca. And so that's like kind of a first launch to get women together to start the conversation in person. I know that not everyone can come to Mallorca and go on the retreat in a castle. So this won't be like our last event. We'll have more in real life events, and also in the metaverse. I'm building a whole ecosystem for the Crypto Woman Initiative. One of the things is that I opened a Facebook group. It's brand new, and it's called the Crypto Woman Club. And so it's free, just anyone can get it. It's a private group because we have to vet the people. So there's no like bots or scammers or whatever coming into the group. And so we have that as well. And in the next, and I guess in the next 5 years, 5 years just seems like a very long time. I just say in the future, in the future at some point, I would love to have like more women, just to have it be a normal thing that there more women are like founders of cryptocurrency companies or blockchain companies, or who are programmers. I should probably be more specific about like the number maybe that I'd like to see, and be very intentional about that. But right now it's really open-ended. Like, I just want to do the most that I can to make more women feel comfortable to come into this space. And through the Crypto Woman Initiative, we're just doing meetups and educational videos and services online to help walk more women to get onboarded into crypto and to learn about it, because there's so much out there, so much opportunity and so much application in blockchain for like all businesses. Like, all businesses should go on the blockchain. And I think a lot of people think that Bitcoin and crypto is all of like that's blockchain technology and there's nothing else. And so I think people have a very limited perspective of what is blockchain technology, where they don't know that it could really help so many industries, more than just financial transactions. So I see the future of fintech and the future of crypto being a more balanced world where women, men, and all genders are working together to push the industry forward and push technology forward, where it's not that the top 50 richest people in crypto are all men, not one woman. And I would love to see at least one woman get into that top 50. I'm not saying it's going to be me.
Yeah, I was always thinking, let's see you there.
But I that's a fact. The top 50 richest people in crypto are all men, and and they have a right to the riches because of they started out in the industry. But I think now it's time to see some women rising up and also creating innovations and being a part of pushing the industry forward.
I love it. And it's very funny because I started the day with Adam. So we started the first session with Adam English. So
Oh, really? Oh, love
yes.
him.
And we were talking about the things, the opportunities in the industry. And he was also mentioning, okay, think about the health industry, how it can help all the administration if it goes under blockchain and everything is registered. And if you go to different country and you go to a doctor and they see your data and then they know all your history just with a click of a button, and blockchain is able to do that. Or you go for the supply chain and then everything is there. And then imagine the governance, if the governance is working under blockchain and all of the traces can be traced back to different people. So I mean that there's so many opportunities, and it also brings a lot of transparency, which I think we are missing for a long time. So next to bringing women in, next to embracing it, and next to bringing more people in it, it's also impressive that you are giving ideas and you are inspiring other people to find this inspiring, this space to create something 100% new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And it's not easy. I'll say that. I think and like the title of this talk is Simple Ways You Can Onboard Women into Your Life, or into Web3. And I think that some really easy ways you can do that, because we talk about, oh, we're onboarding women. We want to onboard women, right? I'm like, okay, how do we actually do that? Right? Like, how do we actually do that? So I actually give you some tips. Anyone who's watching this now, like some actual ways that you could do the most to help women in your life is, number one, you could actually buy an NFT or some crypto for that woman in your life, your sister, your mom, your wife, your cousin, your friend at work who's a woman. That's a really great way to get someone into blockchain tech. Like, that's a really good way to get them into the industry, because if you buy them an NFT and you're like, hey, I bought you this NFT, now you need to go set up your wallet and you need to like get it into your wallet, then that's going to motivate them. They're gonna be like, wow, like, thank you. Like that, they're going to feel so special, first of all. And that's going to motivate them to want to get their wallet set up and going to learn more about it. And I think a lot of people buy NFTs for themselves. Like, how many times we buy NFTs for ourselves? We're like, oh, that's a cute piece of art, or I love this project, and you buy it for yourself. Well, what about thinking about buying that for that woman in your life? That will totally encourage them to get involved in the industry. That's one way that I think a lot of people maybe don't think about. Actually taking action. It doesn't have to be an expensive NFT. It could be like, there's a lot of options out there. But getting them involved that way. Also, Christmas is right around the corner. If you celebrate Christmas, and birthdays as well, I mean, any kind of holiday, that's a great gift to get for the woman in your life who you think would be interested or would be a good asset in the industry. Maybe there's a woman in tech in like a different category of technology that she works in, but she's never tried out blockchain, or she never tried out crypto, she never tried out NFTs, never tried out metaverse, all of the things. And you think she'd be great, then buy her an NFT, buy her some Bitcoin. Like, that would be a really great motivator. Another thing is Twitter Spaces. if you invite someone to get into a crypto Twitter space just to have that conversation and to start the dialogue, I think that's something where a lot of women just want to be invited to stuff. Like, I know that, get it. Every woman is different. So if she has no time and she's like, juggling, children and work and everything, you have to kind of take it case by case. But if you have someone in your life, a woman who was like, that she would be great to have in the industry, or she's a good friend of yours and you just want to do something together with her, I highly recommend you go and invite her to a crypto Twitter space and just get her involved. I think that's the way that we can onboard more women into the industry, is reaching out your hand and saying, here, this is this really cool thing that I love, that I'm really a part of, that I feel like is the future that you could benefit from. We could just start learning. You never know what's going to come of it. Instead of like telling them, oh, you should do it. You should do it. You should do this, which I hear a lot of people doing, like kind of almost guilt tripping women in their life to like get involved, or people in their lives to get involved. And they're never going to do it unless you actually reach out your hand and say, here, come with me. We'll do it together. And I feel like that's a really a better approach to, and that's, I think, the way we're going to onboard more women into Web3 in the future.
I love it because it's not kind of pushy. It's just something that, okay, I have this for you. Let's try out. If you don't like, you don't like, but still you can just try it out and then you figure it for yourself. So it's not like something that is a lot of investment, something that they have to take a lot of time with just preparing, but you are inviting them to spaces, you're inviting them to figure it out, you're inviting them to a metaverse space maybe.
That's another thing also.
You hold their hands and, okay, let's try it out together. Maybe you're afraid, maybe you're just not good in this, like computer games. I remember I was so frustrated at the first time when I went into one of them, and then after time it's just, you just get used to, and you know what is a wallet, you know how to access it, you know how to invest, how to take money out, how to change the currencies. So it's just kind of like a time to settle and to time to adjust, and you are helping the woman right around you to get something into their lives which will be, I believe, day-to-day part of everyday life in the future. In which form, we don't know yet, whether it will be NFT tokens, cryptocurrencies, or anything, because it's formulating, but it's good to know about it. Thank you so much for doing this for other women. So at the end of the conversation, because I see Kim is already in the studio, so how can people reach you? How can they join you and Mallorca and the beautiful castle and the initiative of Crypto Women?
Yes. So you can go to cryptowomanconference.com and you can register. You can get tickets to our retreat. It's going to be fantastic. There's limited tickets, so we literally just started telling people about it like this month. So definitely get in there and snag some tickets. It's going to be a wonderful experience, great memory building together with other women. You can reach me and find me anywhere online with Crypto Woman NFT. I'm on Twitter. I'm on TikTok. My handle is Crypto Woman NFT. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. Well, if you can find I'm doxxed. So my name's Rebecca Jenkins, and I'm on LinkedIn. I mean, I'm everywhere. I just started. Like, I had a YouTube channel, and now I'm restarting it again. And we're doing like a series of interviews of women leaders in blockchain, and I'm really excited about it. It's called Contour in Crypto, and it's all about women and what they're doing in the space and kind of following their journeys and sharing stories together. So yeah, I would love to connect with you. I would love to bring you into the worlds of blockchain and crypto. If you're already in this space, awesome. You're probably in this space. You're listening to this, the show right now, I'm sure. But you can definitely join our Facebook group, Crypto Women Club. It's really small right now, but we're growing, and we're a fun group. But yeah, would love to connect. Thanks.
Well, I love the idea, and I always love people to bring something new here in the show, because then, and everything that started like 3 years ago when I started the conference, those ideas grew so much in the last 3 years, then I meet the person again, and then it's already a huge community. So I'm wishing you the same, so that we meet in the upcoming years, and I can see the community growing, and then you will onboard many women, and you will be on that list.
Thank you. I'm really optimistic about it, for sure.
Yes, of course you will do it. Come on. I can see that. It's there. The determination is there. So go, Rebecca, go, and then bring many women with you. And thank you so much for being here for the second time for the summit. Enjoy your day, and I wish you all the best with your venture.
Thank you, my dear. Have a good one. Ciao.
You too. Ciao, ciao. Bye. So guys, Crypto Women, if you would like to follow, search for Rebecca Jenkins. You can reach her many platforms, on LinkedIn, on Facebook. Search for the group if you would like to join. And now I'm having someone else coming in the studio, and I'm so excited about it. Thank you so much for Embrin, Jeg, and Achan for being here and supporting the talk. This is the last talk of the day. So last but not least, Kim Adele is coming here. We are jumping from Florida to the UK. Hi, Kim. How are you today?
I'm good, Andrea. How are you, my lovely?
Well, I just love it that I can see you again and your smiling face.
It's been too long, my lovely. And I'm just so excited. And thank you for letting me come and be part of the summit again. I really appreciate it.
Of course, anytime. And I just love it. I want to ask, how big is your puppy already?
He's actually at my feet. Would you like to see him?
Oh, yes. Because last time, guys, you don't know, we have been doing this. Wow. He was so small.
So he's now fully grown, aren't you, Puds? Say hi.
Oh my, a lot of times. So that's just crazy. I mean, I always love to connect with people and see how is their life and what's happening around them. And I remember I was part of your podcast, and that's how it started, the whole thing. And I just love it. And I just want to catch up with you first before we get into something serious. So what has happened to you? How is life treating you? How is your community doing?
Yeah, it's been a really interesting year, Andrea. So I actually was really lucky in that I was able to actually do a TEDx 2 weeks ago.
Wow, congratulations.
One of the awful things about going live, isn't it? Someone's about to come and deliver something to the door, and I knew the dog was going to bark. You're like, oh no.
It happened to me too. From sneezing to someone ringing the door, no problem.
I have to duck out in a second. Just 1 second. I'm so sorry.
Oh, good. So guys, until Kim is handling the door and letting the guest in, I just want to let you know that tomorrow we are back with the masterclasses. So in the masterclass in the morning from 10 a.m., Terry Ghani, the TEDx speaker that you could see this afternoon, will come and teach us about sustainability. Then we have one talk with Amelia, and then we are coming back with Sales 101 with someone who was mentioning who was actually delivering a lot of value in Southeast Asia. All right, so I told them about tomorrow. I hope everything is fine.
I'm so sorry. It's the joys of it's my little girl. Would you believe Andrea is going to be 6?
Wow.
At the end of the month. So we're just starting to get like the presents turning up now. My office is downstairs now, so we could just see somebody meandering along. It's like, oh no, something horribly wrong. So yeah, please forgive me. But now I was super excited when I got accepted to do a TEDx, and then terrified when I actually got to deliver it, because it was like, oh. But that was end of October. I met some amazing people, some fascinating stories, and that's what I love about kind of what you do and what we do in the community, is that opportunity to start a conversation and then keep a conversation going, and to spark that curiosity, to get people opening their minds and going, well, I wonder what else there was. And it was amazing. There was really young people there that have got some amazing things to talk about. I think our youngest was 22, all the way up to some much older people. And yet we all learned something from each other, and we all became a little family as we went through that whole process of learning how to deliver a TEDx, because I kind of thought that they were the same as a normal speech, and they're really not. You had to go.
I read it once, all the conditions, because I was checking how to go there, and it's just crazy rules that you have there.
But amazing. I mean, after being accepted, I then was given 12 weeks of training. So they teach you how to make sure that you're articulating your idea in the right way that's going to engage people, that's going to keep them informed, that you do it in the 12 minutes that you've got. So you can't go over that. How to project your voice, where to stand, because you're not allowed to come off the spot. So I was like, they're going, oh my goodness, I'm going to like mess this up because I'm a natural gesticulator, so I do this a lot. You're not allowed to do that.
Me too. I would do that. I'm sure I would dance on the stage.
Hands down, and you're not allowed to move off the spot. So I also pace a little bit when I'm nervous, and I'm nervous usually when I'm speaking. So I was like, in my head, there was like one part of my brain going, don't pace, don't move your hands, don't. The other part was going, and remember to say this, and remember to say the other. I got off, and someone was like, how did it go? And I got no idea what I said. I remember saying hello, and I remember saying thank you for listening. So the bit
everything in between just washed away.
It's kind of a blur. So hopefully it'll be out soon, and I'm going to force myself to watch it just so that I.
Yeah, I'm excited. Please send it to us, and then I would be happy to watch it. And what was your topic? Was it also about leadership?
So my topic was the hope and fear, and the power of belief, and it really was about the fact that as people, we when we're fearful of something, we have to imagine that fear. It hasn't happened yet, so we have to think about what that would be and imagine it in our heads. But the same is true of anything that we're hopeful for. That also hasn't happened yet. We have to imagine it. We have to work out what it is. So both of them are imagined in exactly the same brain. So why is it that we decide that what we're fearful of is more credible and more likely? Because we created both of them. So if instead we focus on the things that we are hopeful for, we'll stand more chance of getting them. And the way that you move from fear to hope is belief. And belief is something we can build in ourselves, but it's also something that we can share with others. And one of the examples that I hope I shared, because I did in the planning of the speech, whether I did on the day, is imagine, if I said to you tomorrow, Andrea, when you wake up, you're going to have to learn how to walk or talk or run or jump or skip. You'd be overwhelmed. We would all be overwhelmed. And yet at our most vulnerable, we learn how to do that. So actually thinking, well, why was that? Why at our most vulnerable were we able to do something that today we would be fearful that we were able to achieve? And I believe it comes down to one thing in two parts, and that's belief. So the first thing is, as babies, we believe that we are the same as the people that care for us. So you can do it, so I can do it. We all have come across children that are like, me do, and then they're so excited when me do becomes me did. So there's that belief that we can because you can. But the second, and for me, this was the greatest lesson of leadership that I was ever gifted, was I've yet to see a child learning to walk that doesn't have at least one adult nearby going, come on, you can do this, you've got it. We quite literally lend them our belief. And that's something that we can do every single day, and we do it every single day. But what we don't do is we don't do it overtly. So as a leader, when we ask somebody to do something, we ask them to do it because we believe that they're going to be successful. If not only will they look stupid, we'll look stupid because we didn't understand their skill set. We misaligned it. So bearing in mind, every time anybody asks you to do something, they're doing it because they believe that you're going to be successful. But imagine the impact we'd have if instead of just saying, Andrea, can you run this global summit for me? We say, Andrea, can you run this global summit? Because I absolutely believe you are the person that can do it because of your unique ability to engage with people, to pull the information out, to build that community, to put the thread together that makes sure that people understand the what, the how, and the why that they're going to implement these things. And it's because of that we're asking you to do it. Imagine how much more successful you'd be, because now, as well as your belief that you can do it, you've overtly got somebody else's belief, and they're not just going, I believe in you. They're giving you the specifics, specifically what is it. And once I learned that and was able to start to implement it in work, you'd be amazed the impact it has. I remember in one particular organization I've been working with recently, and they needed to hit a big number. They'd got a £500,000 target to hit and 1 day to go. And they never delivered 500,000 in a day. But I genuinely believed that with the work that we'd been doing with them and all the steps that we'd put in place, that they could achieve it. So along with the leadership team, we stood up and we shared with the team why we believed they could be successful, specifically what things that they were doing that we knew if they kept replicating them, they would achieve. They just needed to believe. And if they didn't have that belief, that they should borrow our belief because we believed that it was true. Mm-hmm. And I can't tell you the feeling in that moment in the day when you spotted that they didn't need your belief anymore because they had their own. And that kind of feeling and the energy in the room was breathtaking. And I'm thrilled to say they didn't just hit their 500,000, they annihilated it. And it's been an ongoing success. They now regularly hit £1 million a day because they've built that brave belief. And I guess that was kind of my purpose of sharing it in the TED Talk, is to say it's such a gift, and we have it inside every one of us. All we have to do is take a moment and share it. And we know that 70% of us at some point doubt our ability if we feel like we're a fraud. Imagine the impact we'd have on that 70% if every single day we overtly told somebody why we believed in them and what it was that we believed that they were good at. We could really change the world.
I love it. And we were talking about something similar in the afternoon about the sustainability perspective and how people are not really accepting it. And we are talking about it for 27 years and no one is really doing anything about it, just talking. And we are at the end of the line, and now we are like almost too late to do anything. Yeah. So I think it's the little spark of compliments, a little spark of belief, a little spark of action, which is missing from what you say, from just having it in our mind and being afraid, okay, what if? Or it's just the belief that you put into people that, okay, they can do it, and then it's actually happening. So thank you so much. It's an amazing way to see leadership. And I wrote down the words, borrow the belief and then build your own, because that's actually the process that is so important. That first they have said it like, okay, fake it till you make it, right? But now it's just like, okay, you don't fake it. You borrow already someone's existing belief that it's proven there is already a lot of things behind it, and then you just use it to get the confidence, and that's beautiful.
It's that borrowing piece. And yeah, I have many years ago I did my first ever piece around personal brand and leadership, and I was in a really bad place of doubting myself. And my coach was like, I need you to go and ask colleagues and friends and that, what are the 2 or 3 things that they think that you're really good at, that, you know, your real strengths that they admire in you? And what are the 2 or 3 things where you get in your own way? And I was like, okay, yeah, off I go, you know, ever eager. So I went and asked, and almost unanimously, I got back brave and fearless as my strengths. And I was like, I don't understand. I really don't understand. I live in fear every day. I live in fear every day that people are going to find out that I'm not as educated as I could have been. I've not got the qualifications I could have been. Whatever it was that I would be found to be a fraud. And so I had to go back and ask them. I was like, I'm really sorry, I don't understand. So you're going to have to help me, because I don't get it. And I guess a critical part of the story is I'm currently in the 36th house that I've lived in since I left home at 21. So I've moved a lot, and I've moved a lot with work. And they said, you'll quite literally up sticks and move somewhere where you know nobody for a job you're not 100% convinced you can do. That's brave and fearless. And I was like, that's fascinating. I thought it was flighty and a little bit stupid. So, same set of circumstances, same person, it was still describing me and what I do. But one whole group of people, the labels that they used were brave and fearless. The labels I'd used were flighty and a little bit stupid. And so I thought to myself, I wonder what it'd be like if I borrowed their labels for a little bit. So I went, well, everyone thinks I'm brave and fearless. If I were brave and fearless, what would I do in this moment? What would I do in this situation? And it's been a game changer, because of that, I set my own business up. I'm writing my 6th book. I didn't even think I could write a shopping list. I was like, hey, if I was brave and fearless, where would I be? I've now got a TV show. I've got a channel. I'm helping businesses to double in size and to build brave belief for themselves and for their people. And all of it took was changing my label, and that was borrowing other people's. And it was other people's genuine view of the same situation. So it was taking that apart and going, maybe I might have not have the best perspective. So there's one of me saying this, and there's 10 of them saying exactly the opposite. I'm going to work on the fact that they might be better at this than I am. So I'm going to borrow it. And now I see the gift of being able to give that to people. And it can be anything. We particularly, I'm British, and we're terribly proper over here, and we don't dare go up and tell somebody that they look lovely, or their dress is nice, or their hair's good, or they're looking handsome or smart. It doesn't matter what you say. Oh yeah, we might think it, but it's like, no eye contact, let's all look at the floor. Hope it all goes away. But I've seen that actually when you go and do that, I make an effort every day to go and genuinely, if I see something, so I don't go and do it for the sake of doing it, but if genuinely somebody comes past, and I was being served in the shop this morning, this woman had lovely nails. It's like, can I just say your nails are beautiful? They really were beautiful. And she was like really taken aback, and she went, oh wow, thank you. She said, yeah, I didn't normally go for this colour. I went, no, they're really lovely. Carried on with my day. She had a massive beam on her face. Now, genuinely, they were lovely. But it's like the impact of that piece, and it reminds me of the Spike Milligan poem about a smile being contagious, and we can pass it on. And at the end of the day, at the end of it, it's like, next time you see somebody smile, and let's get the world infected. And I think, why not? Why not share kindness every day? Why not smile at somebody? Why not ask somebody, if we see somebody that's looking a little bit miserable, ask them how they're going. My little girl, as I said, she's nearly 6, and she came home the other day and she was like, Mummy, this boy was really mean to me. And I said, oh, that's really sad, my darling. I wonder what's going on in his world. I wonder how he's feeling. I said, because people don't hurt us because they're trying to hurt us. They hurt us because they're dealing with their own pain. And pity loves a party. So if I'm in pain and somebody else is in pain, I don't feel so alone. I said, so maybe if he's mean to you tomorrow, ask him if he'd like a cuddle. And so she was like, okay. So she was back from school. She was like, Mummy, he was mean to me again today. And I said, was he? And what happened? She went, I said to him, do you need a cuddle? And she said he thought for a moment and went, yes, please. She said, we had a cuddle, and then we went off and we played together. And I was like, it's amazing the impact we can have when we just stop making it. Whatever happens in the world, we don't respond to what's happening. We respond to what we've made it mean. And we've always made it mean something about us. And therefore, we're now dealing in that emotion, whereas the fact over here is they could be viewing it from a very different place. So if instead we can take a moment and suspend judgment for curiosity. Okay, I'm curious. I wonder why you're doing that. Because you're not doing it because you want to hurt me. You're doing that because you're in pain that you're trying to get out in some way. So how can I help you feel listened to, understood, and respected? Because when we feel listened to, understood, and respected, we have a safe space where we can share our fears, our emotions. And yet they're the things that we, unfortunately, we forget to teach people. And we particularly forget to teach leaders that our job as a leader is to listen to people, to understand them, and to respect them. That doesn't mean to say we never disagree, but it's about not disagreeing. It's about not disrespecting. It's finding a common purpose and a way through. And I think that's going to make the world a much nicer place to lead in.
And I think that's also some part of it where you can make companies more successful, because once you have this mindset change and then it comes from top to bottom, then it's giving a lot of push, a lot of energy and motivation to the people working at the company, right?
Absolutely. And you see the profits soar. In every business that I've worked in the last 10, 15 years, using this approach, trusting people, listening to them, respecting them, bringing them in, making it that common purpose. I've seen not only the engagement scores go up, but my profitability, so my bottom line profit margin has increased in every single one of them, and most of them have seen double-digit growth month after month, because when everybody's engaged, they're all looking for a way to succeed. When people don't feel like, I went into one recently, and the people were fearful of making a suggestion in case what they suggested ended up not working. That fear of failure was holding them back. Once we put them in a place where it's like, well, look, if we take a risk approach, so we go, does this feel like an appropriate risk to take? And then we take it and it doesn't work. As long as we learn the lessons from it and we make a next decision, it's like fail fast and learn. So fail fast, learn, and then iterate, because the world is all about iteration. I think it was Thomas Edison that said, I didn't find one way to make the light bulb. I found 10,000 ways not to make the light bulb. So once we create that culture for people where we're embracing innovation and iteration, failure is no longer failure. Failure is just a step on the journey. It's just a way for us to learn a new space to iterate. And again, it's all about that framing. If you think about, if you go for an interview, people go, I hate interviews. Well, why do you hate them? Well, because I might fail at them. Well, you can't fail at an interview. You either get the job or you get really good feedback about what you need to do to get the job next time. Either way, you're one step closer to the job. So there's no downside unless you put a downside in there, unless you make it mean something about you, instead of it being, it's actually over here. It's not, they're not saying you're good or you're not good. There might be somebody just that was more qualified on the day. But what they can do is tell you what else you can be doing to help you be the most qualified person on the day the next time you put yourself out there. So I think for me, helping people, reminding them of, catching them in their negative language and saying, okay, well, that's interesting. I'm curious as to why you say that. Why have you made it mean this about you? Because as an outsider looking in, I can see this. And then you can see them start to look at it and go, oh, well, yeah, that could be true as well. It's like, which one of them would you like to believe? Well, I'd like to believe the positive one over here. Okay. Well, you can choose that, because we get to choose which we believe. We are in control of that. So you can continue to choose to believe that everything's going against you, or you can choose to believe that you're learning things. And life, as you know from our previous conversations, life's thrown me the odd plot twist along the way. So I've had the odd disaster, the odd illness, so things that have gone wrong. But what I've learned is every single one of them was a blessing. And if at the time it didn't feel like I was blessed, look for the lesson, because the lesson's in there. And once you learn the lesson, you get the blessing, because all of that helps you to grow and to be a better you. Because this is not about us being better than anybody else. It's just about us being the very best version of us that we can be.
And I think we were mentioning something very important here. It's about internalizing the fear and making the fear all about us, and not to, see it from somewhere else, like from the outside. Like I would see myself in that situation and see that, oh, maybe I'm just not afraid of this. Maybe it's just a belief that I'm afraid of this. So it's kind of like a very interesting topic that we are tapping into, that it's all about it. Nothing should be about me. Nothing should be about all about me, like how I feel after the interview, how I failed in the interview, but rather seeing it, okay, I was here, this what happened, I'm very rational here, and then what can I do next time so that I can do better, but not internalizing it and pushing myself down by the feeling of not having the happiness, right?
True. It's going through it and saying, if in every situation, do a bit of a lessons learned. So what went well? What didn't go so well? What have I learned? And what am I going to take away and do differently? Because then you're moving forward. You're not ignoring the emotions, because that's the other thing. I speak to that many people that go, well, Kim, I'm really rational. And I don't disagree. I'm sure you are. But neuroscientifically, our emotional brain responds 24 times faster than our thinking brain. So your immediate response is emotional.
Mm-hmm.
What you then do is rationalize it and justify it, but you're rationalizing it and justifying it from the emotional space. So if you can at least acknowledge and recognize that, you can then go, okay, so what's happening? What am I making it mean? What am I learning from it? What am I choosing to do now? You now regain control of that because you're not adding it to all of the previous emotions that have come along. And, you know, as Einstein told us with the theory of relativity, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. And the same is true of everything we think. For everything we think, the exact opposite is also true, because we live in a world of polarity. So back to my, you know, when I looked at my life and I was like flighty and a little bit stupid, and everybody else looked at it and went, she's brave and fearless. We were looking at the same life, the same decisions, the same choices, the same actions, but we were looking at it from a different point of belief. And that's true of anything you're telling yourself today. It's I think one of the most powerful words in the English language is the word yet. And I use this with my little girl all of the time, because we come back and we talk about ourselves in absolutes. So she'll go, oh, I'm not good at colouring. And I'm like, well, okay, maybe you're not good at colouring yet, but let's explore it. So look at how much better you are at colouring today than you were yesterday. And she went, well, yes, Mummy, I am. And I was like, and how better were you yesterday than you were last month? Look, because last month, look, you were all over the lines. And she went, I was a lot better. How do you feel about colouring now? And she went, I'm quite good at colouring, aren't I, Mummy? Like, yeah. When we don't use the word yet, what we do is we almost tell us, our brain and our subconscious brain, it's not important. That's okay. We've labelled it. We don't need to learn this anymore. When we say, I'm not good at it yet, we keep the door open to look for ways to improve. We find opportunities, and our subconscious brain is actually what does all the work. We think it's not. And actually, I think it was Stanford. It was either Stanford or Harvard that did a study, and they've identified that we use only 10% of our brain. Even the most intelligent people in the world are using 10% of their brain. So imagine what we could do if we could just tap in to the other 90, even just a little bit of the other 90. And some of that we tap into it by being curious, by focusing on things. And it's a bit like, have you ever gone to buy a car and you know exactly what car you've done all the research, you know what car you want, you know the color, you know the make, you know the model, and all of a sudden all you see is that car. It's everywhere. And it's not because there's more of them. It's not because suddenly everyone's got the same idea as you. It's because your subconscious brain knows that you're thinking about it. And so it goes to find ways to make it happen. Because our subconscious brain is the happiest helper we ever have, but it's got one very, very significant flaw. It does not understand the difference between help and harm. So if we're focused on things we don't want, it doesn't know that we don't want them. We're focused on them. So it's like, oh, that's important to Andrea. Let me go and find more opportunities to bring that to her. Which is why when things go wrong, we sometimes feel like we're in a space of everything's going wrong. It's all going wrong. We're focused on things going wrong. And so our subconscious goes, that's what they want more of. Equally, we'll have all had those moments where we feel like we're on a lucky streak, like everything's going our way. And that's because we focused on something that was going well. And our subconscious brain goes, wants more of that, because it doesn't understand want and don't want. So the only way we can tap into that 90% is to reframe what we're thinking into what we want. So when you find yourself in those moments where you're thinking about something you don't want, go, okay, that's interesting. But what do I want? So I don't want to appear stupid on this conversation. I do want to add some value. Okay, so I'm going to focus on how do I add value in the conversation that I have, rather than continue to go with that thought of, I don't want to appear stupid in this conversation. So it's a really simple trick, but you know, when you catch yourself saying something that's about what you don't want, immediately ask yourself, okay, but what do I want? What would good look like for me today? What would be a great outcome? And you will shift the focus of that power.
I love the shifting, and I think this is something good to finish the conversation with. So 2 tips which are very easy to implement. One of them is use the word yet. If you find out that you are not doing something yet, or you are not good in something yet, add this little word so that it empowers you. And then the second one was about, instead of finishing with what you don't want, add what you want at the end of the sentence, so that your brain can focus on the second half and not on the first one. So thank you so much, Kim. I think these were amazing leadership tips and amazing tips for growing as a person. And it was lovely, lovely to see you. Please say greetings to Nat also. Yes, just tell him I'm just saying hi. And it was amazing to have you here at the Empowerment Summit. Thank you so much for joining us again.
Thank you for having me. I so appreciate you, and you should be so proud of all you're doing, because this is how we help share knowledge, and it's how we all help to grow. So I am hugely appreciative and grateful to know you.
Me too, you know that. So we keep in touch, and don't forget to send me your TED speech, because then I will put it into the conversation, into the comments, so that people can watch it.
Thank you so much. You take care.
You too. Bye-bye, Kim. Thank you so much. So this was the Global Empowerment Summit, the second day of the fourth weekend, and now we are going for a break. I will have some sleep, and we will come back tomorrow with 2 masterclasses. One of them will be about sustainability in business and life with the TEDx speaker, Terry Gani. And then after that, we have Emilia in the studio for a very short interview. And then we continue further with the masterclass about sales 101, and this is where I left off when Kim came back. So basically we will have a class from 4 p.m. which will be about sales and lead generation. That will be also a 2 hours masterclass, and then later we finish the day with another interview with Leon, and then we are meeting again for a networking session, and that will be our Sunday of the 4th weekend, and then we are heading off to the 5th weekend. So if you want to know what's up, what is still in the making, then you can just head over to globalempowermenthub.com, check out the calendar under the program, and then you will see many, many things are still coming up. If you haven't seen things, if you are really like behind with the videos, take the thing like it's just starting now, go back to the different topics like leadership, business growth, and personal growth. Rewatch those videos, comment on them so that we can come back to you and help you with your questions. And thank you so much, and have an amazing night, guys. And see you, Jack. Bye, Elchen. Thank you for supporting. Bye, Embrin, and all the hardcore supporters who are also here, although there is a very, very important day in Malaysia today. So see you guys tomorrow. Bye.